Welcome to the First and Inches podcast, where every play counts and every take hits hard. Right. David is repping the dynasty that is the Kansas City Chiefs. George bleeds black and gold for Steeler Nation, and AP is still waiting on the Vikings to show up in February. We're breaking down the biggest stories in football, baseball, and anything in between. We're calling it like we see it, and no fan base is safe. Touchdown! This is the First and Inches podcast.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Hello and welcome back to our podcast, First and Inches. I am Jorge.
I am Hooks.
AP here.
Man, this is getting down to the nitty-gritty, to the very end of the baseball season. Is this exciting for you guys?
Oh, yeah.
It is for me. This is the first time I've really been able to enjoy ball since 2012.
Well,
Sad.
if I have anything to say about it, hopefully this will take you back sometime and keep that going, because let's go Mets.
Give the Reds a chance to fall on their faces. They did last night, but we'll see how it plays out. Still 5 games left.
All right, well, let's talk about the standings right now. As we sit, we know that there's one fight for the final NL Wild Card spot. Do we really have just 3 teams, right? I mean, I don't know what the Diamondbacks are going to do the rest of the week, but I got my eye on the Reds for sure and the Mets.
You know, nothing would make me happier than the Diamondbacks scooting in there and just, making both y'all unhappy next week. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Between the Mets, Reds, and Diamondbacks. So the Reds held the wild card spot solely. They lost 4-2 last night to the Pirates. The Diamondbacks won, and then the Nationals handed the Mets a win. So now the Mets are up, and the Reds and Diamondbacks are tied for runner-up. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a great game. Paul Skeens pitching tonight against Hunter Green. So it will be a good one. It'll be a real good one. That's going to be a great game.
Well, Paul Skeens doesn't get any run support, so that's good for you guys.
Ohtani went 6 innings yesterday, and then the bullpen did exactly what they've done all season. And I'm telling you, there's probably somebody doing a case study on this is the best bullpen ever that has sucked this bad for a really good team in baseball. It, like, every single game is like, oh, no hitter for the starting pitcher, 7 innings, and somebody blows up. And happened again last night. Travis Scott just crushed the Dodgers' hopes.
Well, they're only going to need 4 pitchers, right, in the playoffs. So 2, and they've got a 6-man rotation. So 2 of those guys will be able to move down into the bullpen, right? So that's going to be super helpful for the Dodgers.
And they're bringing back Sasaki, who, I mean, they're going to have to send. There's a couple pitchers they're bringing back, and they're going to have to send a couple of those pitchers down or release them. So it's really, really going to be interesting what's happening over the next week or so.
It's an odd time when we're both rooting for your Dodgers. So you guys need to get it together. Y'all gave up 5 runs in 2 innings at the end. It was really 4-0. That's just crazy. Yeah. And I mean, you got to be feeling it. And how do you like your chances if you're going into the postseason with this bullpen?
So I think that with the starting pitching, with Yoshi, with Snell, with Glasnow, with Ohtani, I think they're going to be fine to start out with. And like Adam said, they're going to send some of those guys that are starters down to the bullpen. And the crazy thing is all those guys in the bullpen don't have terrible overall numbers. It's just once a week, once every 2 weeks, they decide to blow a game.
Yeah. They just take their turns blowing the game, huh?
Yep. Yeah, it's not like they do it the whole time. Hey, let's throw 5 great games and then we're gonna blow one.
That won't be a problem. In 2026, I'm sure they'll buy some pitchers, throw them in there. They'll spend about $250 million. They'll fix that hemorrhaging real
It's
quick.
it's more like buy now, pay later. That's what they'll do.
No,
Yeah, with them.
they
Yeah,
actually they actually spent some money in the off season getting
Yeah.
some of those pitchers, and just like great relievers just
Mm-hmm.
randomly suck once every 10 days. So
All right. Well, how about you don't suck for the next 2 days, and then
okay,
we'll
there you go.
Just
go back
do
to
your
normal
part,
next
bro.
week.
Yeah.
Do your part.
The AL race is getting close too. We got still the fight going on the AL West between Houston and Seattle.
You know who's not in the playoffs right now if they started today? In the AL?
Who?
The Astros are not in the playoffs if it started today.
Oh, yeah. So,
The true Astros.
but you know what? By the end of the week, who might not be in the playoffs? The Tigers.
Yeah, that has been. You want to talk about a collapse, man? That is wild, and I don't know if it's more a testament to the the Guardians or the Tigers on this whole deal. It's a consistency on both. So I don't know, man. I'm happy to see the Indians, but either way, either one of those teams, it doesn't matter who's getting in. They're not running deep. We know we know who the ballers are. It's the same story all the time. So, but still, yeah, just for the suffering aspect, because I obviously am a glutton for that with a Vikings and Reds fan. I would love to see the Astros completely collapse and just the Indians get in. Of course, get balanced out that wild card round though, like they do.
Hey, here's the
Guardians.
like we have to figure out the editing situation, because if we could edit and review the last 3 weeks when we're talking about the Tigers being up 11 games, that's done. And then
Mhm.
even like a couple weeks ago or last week, was it 3 weeks ago where I was like, hey, would you have bet that the Tigers would be up this many games? And if we could edit that all together, that would be like a dun dun dun.
It's just going to sound like we don't know what we're talking about. So
Yeah,
let's
I don't
not
want to
do that.
expose ourselves.
No, I guarantee you everybody else was saying the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
the Tigers 2 weeks ago had a 9-game lead. And I was like, did you see that coming?
I think we'd have more success with me in my Baltimore Orioles playoff push that I predicted, and they're the worst team in the AL East, so I was completely wrong there.
Yeah, that's worse than almost
Your
as bad as
Angels,
mine.
yeah, that was worse. Your
I
Angels are
called
still
the Angels.
Hey, I did call the Reds. And I think we need to look back and see what we predicted, because I feel like I'm not too far off. I obviously didn't pick, the Brewers to have the best record in the NL, but
Yeah. The only saving grace I have between Jorge and myself on our horrible predictions is that there's a 4-game lead that the Orioles have on the Angels for.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I really did. I thought they were going to be the team, but they weren't. So
Well, early on, the Angels led the division for like 12 hours at one point.
and to your point though, Jorge, they did. I don't think they had Trout, or I think maybe he was injured, or is like, So I know he's played a full year compared to what he has since like 2019, but yeah, I mean that was it's wild how that all happened. But
Yeah. All right. So how it sits now,
mhm.
what do we think the odds are of these teams? Whichever team you want to talk about, making it all the way and maybe winning it all.
So I'll let you start it off, Hooks, if you want to.
so this is the first year that the Dodgers just haven't raced to 100 games in a while. I mean, they're struggling. They're going to be a wild card team. I mean, they're going to be playing the wild card round. So I'd love to say that the Dodgers are a slam dunk deal. I've always thought that the Phillies have underachieved. I feel like they have just tons of talent over there. So it would be, and like I said, I think Brewers just caught fire for whatever 17 games that they won straight. But I would love to see the Dodgers and the Phillies playing on the NL side, and on the AL side. What I see is the. I mean, I think the Jays. I think they have enough talent. Um, and Seattle, with that pitching and with those key hitters, I would, you know, Major League Baseball doesn't want to see that, but I think I would like to see the Jays in Seattle and the Dodgers and Phillies, playing to see who's in the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, you guys, I've talked about how biased I am at starting pitching and how deep that makes you run because of the you can bleed that into the bullpen. So, I'm a big fan of the Mariners. I just don't see them being that team. So if I'm picking a team out of the American League, I'm going to go ahead and defer to the Yankees again. I don't think that the Blue Jays, as much as as we've seen this play out, how we talked about it last week, how it's a lot of them are having good years. Jorge, you made a good point. You said they pick each other up with the Blue Jays. So I still don't think they have that moxie, that it factor that puts them over. Plus, they've got the Yankees have the best hitter in baseball and Aaron Judge. So if I were had to pick, I'd go ahead and say the Yankees there in the American League. But not to bust on Hooks, but to Hooks' point that they're going to get exposed. I think it's going to be the Phillies this year. I think the Phillies are just the most well-rounded team in all of baseball. And I don't know if Zach Wheeler's going to make it back. He is their best pitcher, and they're still smashing. So, they got an exciting guy in Bryce Harper. Might as well. It's his time. It's time to get the ring. So I'm saying Phillies over Yankees, 7 games.
Wow. Philly fans are going to like that. Some of my Philly friends from a couple weeks ago who were riding high after they swept my Mets. I don't, as much as I would love to see Cleveland and Toronto make it there to the AL finals, AL championship series. I don't think that Cleveland has the firepower to keep up with the Yankees. The Yankees have underperformed, okay, I think. But they have a lot of stars. And I mean, when they get hot, they get hot. And if they happen to get hot in the postseason, even without Soto, I think that they can do some damage. As long as they stay consistent and they don't all go cold at the same time, I think we'll see the Yankees make it to the AL Championship Series again. Hopefully the Jays can pull it off.
Is Aaron Judge still going to be playing in the outfield if it's the Dodgers Yankees? Because I really love his defense out there in the 5th inning of games.
Oh, they might do a late inning substitution where they move him out back to DH or whatever and pull out Giancarlo Stanton. But yeah, they're going to have him out there because they need Stanton's batting in there too.
Yeah.
Now in New
Until
York,
the 7th inning. When
they play in New York, he was very effective at right field. Why did that stop? I mean, I know it's because of Soto last year, but why? Why not? I mean, he really covers well in New York in right field.
Yeah, he's playing center for a while.
Yeah, he was playing center for a long time, and I think that he's not a liability. He dropped 1 ball, but he really is not a liability, in my opinion, in defense. So that gives you the opportunity to use Stanton with the right against the right pitchers. I don't mean right-handers. I just mean the correct pitchers and all. Because some pitchers got his number. I don't know if it's mental or what, but some pitchers got his number. So if they're working their way through the AL postseason, some of these pitchers have owned Stanton. I mean, he's like hot or cold, nothing in between. So I know the teams are aware of what they need to do against him. But with that said, I mean, the rest of the lineup can step up at any point. Rice is playing well. You got Caballero. That dude's a baller. I don't know why Tampa Bay traded him. He is clutch. He's the kind of guy that will steal the base when you need it, will give you a clutch hit like he did last night with the walk-off. He's just a baller. He may not put up the numbers throughout the year like some of these losers like Soto does, but when you need him, he's not going to choke.
Hey, does Juan Soto steal bases and hit home runs when it matters?
No, he doesn't do anything when it matters. I think he had 1 hit when it mattered this year, a few weeks ago or a few games ago, but
Hey,
Other
I would
than
gladly
that,
take him doing stuff that doesn't matter with the Cincinnati Reds. So,
well, then that's probably why they're both fighting for the last spot in the playoffs.
yes,
So
probably.
no, I mean I don't care. He's trying to get to 40-40, right? He's got like 30 something stolen bases, and he's probably trying to get to 40 just for his own ego, just for a paycheck, like for numbers, whatever.
Mhm.
His play has not helped us get what we need. So I don't care.
And
When
not
it
that I'm a
comes
batting average guy. Obviously, I'm not. But isn't he hitting under 250? It's like 240 something.
I don't
Soto.
even know. I
Yeah,
thought it was like 260. But
I'll check that.
he'll get on base when we don't need base runners. He'll get a hit when it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He did. He's been getting on base more lately when it matters. Not necessarily having bad at bats with runners in scoring position or runners on the bases. So not inducing too many double plays,
Mhm.
which he was doing early in the year, and making some productive outs at least. Not many sacks, but at least he's not going the wrong way like he was early in the year with runners on base. So when it
What's
comes
wild?
to that said, though, I still don't see the Mets making a run. I don't think they have what they need. I thought they did last year, and then that shellacking the Dodgers put on us in New York. But I don't think this year they have it, even to start a new run now and make it deep. I think that I see, as much as I hate to say this, the Phillies and
Mhm.
the Brewers
Ooh.
really are going to be the ones fighting it out. I think that the Dodgers bullpen is going to be a liability very early, as early as the wild card series. So
Yeah. 5 games.
So, hey, so just real quick, going back to the percentages of the playoffs, the Mets are at 67%, the Reds are at 21%, and Arizona's at 11%. So, my question is, could we do an early podcast on Sunday? So, because Jorge's going down in Dallas, going to watch the Cowboys get smoked by Green Bay. But it really would if it's the Reds and Mets last game tied up. Can we talk about it before to see the sadness
To
of
see me
whoever?
cry, I'm down.
And you can do like a
I'm
separate
already
video,
prepped,
and we can.
boys. I'm already
So
prepped for disappointment.
so am
This
I.
doesn't
So I
faze
don't
me.
think it's going to be anything major on Sunday for either of us.
No. I'm prepped for this. I was born for this.
Yeah, I don't think
just-
you Dodger fans understand.
Yeah,
Like,
you have no clue, bro.
We're different people.
So
We're built different.
all
Yeah.
right, Jorge, how many games did you hit up this year in the MLB? Do you think?
Well, let's look it up. I think my ballpark app will tell me that it was 67 games in 2024,
Jeez.
2025, sorry. 67
Good grief,
games.
bro.
It still doesn't feel like enough.
Yeah, that's prior to this year, that's a season for Mike Trout.
He wishes.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a tenth of his paycheck. But it was a good year. I mean, I don't think that I hit up as many milestone games as I did last year. I was able to be present at Aaron Judge hitting 300, his 300th home run. A few other games that were really, really special last year in 24. I think that this year, some of my highlights would be going to Cincinnati for opening day. You
With your
always talk
boy.
about it, and
Got to see
and
Adam.
everybody thinks it's the best. I thought it's pretty cool. The whole parade. I mean, it's not just a parade. That's like the mother of all parades. If you haven't been to Cincinnati for opening day and the way the city gets behind that, I mean, just the parade is a spectacle. And you can't even watch the whole parade because it's so long that you have to go to the game before the game starts, if that's in fact what you're going to do. But the rest of the city, not everybody can go to the game. They don't all fit there.
Mhm.
So if you're not at the game, the rest of the city's at the parade. I thought that was pretty cool. So I think that was
So, hey,
memorable for me.
Did you see the dude that caught Trout's 400th home run?
And he wanted to play catch with him.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
he got some. I'm sure he got some good stuff. But
What
just
would
one
you
play
do?
catch.
If
Sign
you
that
caught it,
in
what would you
Jersey.
do?
I don't have a man crush on anybody. I like money. I would have figured out a way to make some money off of it.
Yeah. Is it worth
Same.
anything? I mean,
Hmm?
we're not talking about millions, right? It's
Nah,
just
but
number 400.
100,000. I mean, the Angels would have paid that for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have definitely leveraged it to cash. And I don't mean to be that guy, but I think 95% of the listeners or anyone out there would have done the same. And I also think Trout is a reasonable guy. I would have been pragmatic about it, but yeah, I would have leveraged it for cash, not to play catch. You know, the thing about it I didn't like, Trout didn't put on a glove to play catch. Maybe he didn't have a glove with him.
Can you imagine if he got hurt?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The whole thing, like, I wish he would have had a glove. It would have made it more legitimate for
Yeah.
the guy, right? Playing catch with the guy with a glove as opposed to barehanded. It seemed like he just wanted to get in and get out. I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
not pretending I would know anything like that, but it would have been a little bit more wholesome and safer too. If I'm running out there, I'm taking one in the teeth to protect Trout. Like, dude, what are you doing? Put on a glove.
Yeah.
Do you
All
think
right,
they
so-
authenticate that ball before he hits it? Like they know the ball to make sure it's the right ball?
Yeah, they got to.
Okay.
Or they have to have cameras on it until it gets signed.
Well,
All right,
I think at least this is how they did it for Griffey back in the day when he was hitting 600, 500, 600, whatever, all of them. Those games that he's getting on when he's in that, they have an authenticator like imprinted onto the ball. So the entire, like they'll give like the Reds, they would have given them a certain baseball that had the insignia of something on it that would delineate that from them being copyrighted or not copied, whatever, faked.
Hey, I'm seriously super excited about this new ABS where you can start next year where you can appeal strikes or balls. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, okay, so I got a couple of different things, opinions on it. So you want to make
You
the
just got
case
to
for
choose
it.
the side you want.
Well, I'm gonna bleed into these two. So one, you can make the case to it. It's consistency, right? And you don't want. We're talking about the playoffs. You don't want Game 5, Game 6, Game 7 being decided by an umpire missing a called, maybe a called third strike there on the corner, and it's maybe obviously egregiously wrong. And there is that element about it, but then it becomes too robotic, right? And then the game's no longer that human element. And then you're also getting into which is important to me, pitch framing, right? So that you a lot of guys will develop pitcher, like Jose Trevino. Wonderful catcher, can't hit that well. Wonderful catcher, though, defensively. Great job at pitch framing, works really well with pitchers. He becomes irrelevant, right? Because at that point, there's no such thing as pitch framing. The defensive metrics for a catcher go out the window. Now you're just, as long as you can stop a wild pitch, right? Then you also, and this is the other thing we were just talking about this in our text message, Laz Diaz, right? We're talking about like how atrocious he is. So you remove that umpire personality from the game and instead it's just is what it is, right? So there's some good and some bad. And the number one, it's counterproductive. The entire thing that baseball's been doing here is speeding up the game, which I hate, right? They're speeding up the game. I know you guys like it. Less than 2 hours, less than 3 hours, whatever. But now we're going to slow it back down so we can have, I know that's only 2 stoppages, but you guys know as well as I do that will slow the game down. What are we talking? 15 minutes per game, 20 minutes?
No,
any
it's
casual baseball fan.
No, it's
all you
literally
casual baseball fans can't handle.
It's literally
a
a
game that long.
20-second. It's literally a 20-second review.
Well, it's
a
the
ball or a
production.
strike.
It's a 20-second look, but the production of it is not going to be that quick.
So you'd rather have the human brain delay type of game with dudes out there doing whatever than what some of these new rules are doing?
So you went to some of the spring training games when they used it. Did it take more than 20 seconds, 30 seconds?
No, it doesn't take that long at all. It literally, from the time, and you only have like 2 seconds to appeal it, and they do it right away. They're like, oh, I want to challenge it or whatever.
Yeah, you can't.
I would say probably 6 to 7 seconds before it's on the screen. Literally.
Yeah. So you're not. So it's 2 challenges a game,
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you get to keep getting more is to keep getting them right. So they're not letting scrubs challenge strikes. It's going to be
Well, they can't
an
go to the
all-star.
yeah.
I mean, it's not.
Well,
I mean,
you can't go to the dugout and look and to get their permission.
no, it's
No.
literally the hitter has to make the decision, and so it's going to be a Max Muncy or a Otani. It's not going to be a confront. It's not going to be a Kiki Hernandez challenging a strike.
And it's got to be strategic. You can't be challenging in the first inning with nobody on base just to get on base, with 2 outs. So you got to understand, if you lose it, you only have 2. So if you lose them early and you need them late, you're going to be screwed, right? If you use them in a situation where it might not net you anything, then
Right.
you lose them and you might get screwed, or use them up, you might get screwed if you lose them. So you got to be strategic. And I get it. If you're if Last Diaz is behind the plate, then you might be able to use 13 challenges, right, and not lose any of them. That reminds me, last week, Last Diaz crew was here in Tampa playing the Blue Jays, and he was behind the plate first game, and then he was behind the plate the 4th game. So I asked Schneider, I was like, why? Who let him behind the plate? He's like, it's a travesty. I don't know. Why is Last Diaz behind the plate twice in a series? We'll talk about that some other time about these rules.
All
But
right.
I don't think that is going to really delay the game anymore, as much as going to perhaps give people the opportunity, players the opportunity to not get screwed over by the personal factor. Because I get it. We like the personal factor in some areas, but then in other areas, they might be doing it on purpose. These umpires might be just not caring about the game, not caring about the batter. They have a personal vendetta against, some of these batters, and then calling the game a different way than they're calling for other players. So I think that it worked well in minor league, and I think that it will work okay in the majors next year.
But what does it do for the catcher, though? Right? There's a lot of, like, Will Smith hooks. Right? Will Smith is a great defensive pitcher. He's good at pitch framing. And then, you've eroded this position, because at this point, all he's doing is catching. He's not framing.
It's not. That is, like, I don't want the catcher. Yeah, we're gonna have to cover this on another day because we've got like 10 minutes tops to talk about NFL. And
I don't think you're taking it out of the catcher's hands, though, because the
not
way
at
they're
all.
going to calculate it as where it goes over the plate now. Sutter Field in Sacramento is going to become a questionable thing, because I don't think they have enough cameras there like they do at other major league parks. But if all you're doing is framing your way to strikes and strikeouts, then that also needs to be looked at, because that's not fair for the batter either, right?
Well, then, okay, but then neither is it fair for the other team when we're removing the shift or the tush push. I'm saying, though, you can't keep making alterations of the game continuously, because then it has changed the entire out. It's just too much changing for me.
I agree with that.
Our listeners want to hear about the NFL real quick, because we got a lot of listeners that love the NFL. So
if they're
week
Cowboy
3,
fans, they don't want to hear about the NFL.
Week 3, the Steelers, the Vikings, and the Chiefs all won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. That's the first time. That's the first time ever on this podcast.
Well, it's also the first game you won all year, so huh? Okay.
So there's 6 teams that are 3-0. We got the Bills, the Chargers, the Eagles, Tampa, the 49ers, and the Colts. Who would have saw the Colts being 3-0?
Yeah, that's.
Remember when we were like, who's going to be the starting quarterback?
Well, they have a new
about that. That's
they
another
have
one
a new
I'll take.
theme song or whatever. That's what's.
Yeah.
So, AFC Player of the Week was Jonathan Taylor. NFC Player of the Week was Caleb Williams, and then I'm going to let Adam talk about this guy. Defensive Player of the Week, Isaiah Rodgers. Tell me what he did this week.
Right. Well, that's interesting. He had the greatest rated game from a defensive player in the history of the NFL by PFF standards. Sorry. So he had this is a testament to the hitman, Harrison Smith. He tipped the ball, for that Isaiah Rodgers could take the pick 6 to the house. He also had a forced fumble that he scooped up himself, that he took to the house. And then he also had another forced fumble that was picked up. This was all within that first half of football. Had it not been for him, I don't know for sure because it changes the whole momentum of that game. And so it was a great showing, and I'm glad because it was on the national broadcast, but due to the blowout, they cut the game and they flipped it to it's just total bullshit. But that's what they did. Anyway,
So was Carson Wentz the starter going forwards, or
at least until they get back from Europe, yeah. That's what they're rolling out there. I still think a high ankle sprain is the reason why JJ is not starting. I don't think it's a soft benching or anything else like that. But you can make a case for it.
if they come back and they're 4-1,
That's a great question.
is
Yes, I want JJ back in the saddle.
nice.
I'm sticking to it. He's my man.
All right. Jorge, let's hear about your Steelers real quick. I know we're kind of running low. I've got some good stuff on the Chiefs.
Well, tell me a team that got 5 turnovers and only won by 1 touchdown. That's just terrible. Just get the heck out of the country, go to Ireland, and hopefully we can catch the Vikings with some jet lag. We got lucky. That was ugly win, if you want to call it that. We're not going to win if we keep playing like that. Plain and simple.
All right. So we're going to come back because we definitely want you two guys to kind of end this thing on the NFL with how Sunday going to look. But the Chiefs retired Russell Wilson. That's something Russell Wilson is not going to be playing in the NFL after getting beat like that. The Chiefs and Ravens, who would have bet the Chiefs and Ravens are 1-2 and playing this week and at Kansas City? Like no one would have said. I mean, the Ravens have scored like 112 points or something, 100 like a bunch of points, and are 1-2. A couple 40-point games and a 30-point game. So we're 3 weeks away from Rashee Rice. Don't let us win 2 or 3 of these games coming up. It's going to be Chiefs time. We got 2 Monday night games, and then tell us about. I really want to hear about the Vikings and Steelers game that's coming up, and what you see is happening.
I'll let you start, Jorge.
I mean, as long as our defense shows up and keep you under 7 points, I think we have a chance.
Well, there's a lot going on for the Vikings. They've lost their first round pick, Donovan Jackson, left guard, absolute animal, savage, just shutting it down. They've lost him, but they got back Darisaw last game. I'll say this: their defense is going to be hot because Van Ginkel's back. He only played 8 snaps last game against the Bengals. Had 2 sacks, 8 snaps, 2 sacks. So you're going to have a full game. He's going to eat Aaron Rodgers' lunch. So I'm predicting a nice little win in Dublin. It's not going to be a high-scoring game, no. I'm going to say 31-17, Vikes. Skol, baby.
31. I mean, I think we had at least time to prepare for this offense. Whoever you played last week had no idea what to expect. Yeah. So I don't know if you'll score 31. I would say probably a good 20-14 Vikings, unfortunately.
I don't even know who's going to win that game. I'm just excited for one of y'all to be sad. So chump of the week. We're just gonna all three. I got my chump of the week. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first. My chump of the week. What's his name? Joshua Carty. How do you get 2 field goals blocked? Like, come on. I know you're gonna blame the line, but you got to figure out after the first one getting blocked, you got to do something, man. You got to figure out your timing. You got to get that ball a little higher. That last field goal they had wasn't even that long, so he just needed to get it over the hands. Maybe, I don't know, move back a yard, do whatever you got to do. You cannot have 2 field goals blocked.
I'll go just because it hit home. Jake Browning and the rest of the national media was talking a lot of smack because what he did to the Vikings before when he started. And I guess Browning actually talked shit saying, see what happens when you cut me. Well, we saw what happened. Okay. We saw what happened. So that's my chump.
I actually win chump of the week this week, just to be clear. The Detroit Tigers were up 5.5 games this time last week and are now
Oh,
basically a half game behind because the Guardians have the tiebreaker. So it took 7 days for them to lose 6 games in the standings. So there you
it's
go.
the
That's my
Tigers,
chump of the
man. What
week.
did you expect? Yeah.
That's my
That's
chump of
crazy.
the
That's
week.
an average of 5 games a week for the last couple weeks. How?
Yeah.
It seems impossible, but yeah, I agree with you. I think that this will be a season they will never forget if they don't even make the playoffs.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Well,
especially
man.
with that guy, Scooble. What a stud.
Well, thanks for everything today. It was a good show. We're going to talk a little bit about what the next few days will have in store for us in the playoff postseason race for the MLB. We'll get together again if it's something dire at the end of the week, this weekend, as to who is going to make it, who's going to go home. Hopefully, both of us are not going home. At least one of us makes it through. And then we'll figure out how our predictions do after this week. I think that so far, we need to probably keep score and see who's from week to week. I mean, I know that Hooks, you thought that the Chiefs might win every week, so you were in the hole
I said
right now.
11. You can go back and look. I said 11 games.
11
games.
wins, but the last 3 weeks you thought you had no chance of losing, right?
Yeah.
No, I said we were going to lose the first week.
Just
All right.
let's
Go
get
back.
with Taylor. Let's get with Taylor about it.
No.
Maybe if your boy Travis Kelce would do less commercials, they'd be able to ball out a little bit more.
He's
He's
already
gotta get paid.
transitioning to his next career. He doesn't care about football.
Yeah.
Is that guy that has a famous singer girlfriend, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, guys.
And all the listeners tuning in and subscribing, we really appreciate it. You can find us on your favorite podcast app with Apple Podcasts and Spotify, on our YouTube channel, First and Inches Podcast, and our website, firstandinches.com. Well, thank you so much. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Oh, and happy birthday.
Jorge.
Happy birthday, Jorge.
Yeah. And the Padres are about to lose. See y'all.
See you guys.